and welcome to this new video by Tranquil-it. Today we're going to talk to you about WAPT 2.2 and its new feature OS deployment. To make sure you don't miss any of our content, feel free to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started. So here we are in this new console with integrated OS deployment. So here I have my management machine on which I have a package called WADS, minimal requirement. In fact, this is the package that needs to be installed on the machine. It will handle your OS deployment, so you can create an image called a WinPE image. Now, you'll be able to go to the OS deployment tab at the very top. The machine tells us that creating a WinPE is necessary. Do we want to download it? So upload it to the WAPT server. Let's do that. Yes. We're going to choose our keyboard layout. I'm going to choose a French keyboard. And then here I select the key that will be embedded in the WinPE, meaning the key that will sign all my actions in the OS deployment section of WAPT. I click OK. So now the WinPE is being uploaded to the WAPT server. You should know that we could also have created a WinPE USB key, where the WinPE would be embedded on a USB stick, so we could boot from a USB drive. Here, what we're doing is downloading the WinPE to the WAPT server so that we can boot over the network from the machine. That means the machine will start up using DHCP, and it will boot directly from a file hosted on the WAPT server via TFTP. This WinPE will be replicated to the secondary repositories. This means we will try to minimize bandwidth usage as much as possible to limit bandwidth consumption. Next, we will upload a Windows 10 ISO. In the ISO section, I can click on the little plus sign and name the ISO. I'll call it Win10. I'm going to select my Windows 10 ISO file. First, let's navigate over to the ISO section. Okay. And then, I'm going to go ahead and select my Windows 10 ISO file that I have saved here. So there you go, my ISO has been uploaded to the WAPT server. Now I will be able to create a configuration linked to this ISO. So I press the little plus sign and I'm going to name my configuration Windows config. And then for the ISO name, I'll put Windows. I'm going to specify that at the end of this installation, WPT will be installed automatically. And I'm going to choose the XML configuration file linked to this ISO. So I'm going to choose a Win10 offline with an offline join. That means, in fact, we're going to join the machine using djoin. We won't need a service account. We'll pre-create the machine account in Active Directory and provide the join information directly to the machine. So here we can modify anything we want in the XML file. We can even add a post-installation script where, for example, we could add the installation of a WAPT package. I click on Create. Now I have my configuration. I'm also going to upload a driver pack, the drivers that the machine will need to install. I'm going to click on the little plus sign. I'm going to select my directory of drivers. It's this one. Then I'm going to give my driver pack a specific name, because the model I'm using is a Lenovo T470. I'm going to click on Save, and that will upload all the files present in this folder directly to the WAPT server. As it's designed, regarding the optimization of files stored on the WAPT server, if two driver packs use the same file, the file will not be stored twice. The file will only be stored once. We're trying to optimize as much as possible the space used by the WAPT server. And also, since these files will be replicated on the secondary repository, we will try to minimize as much as possible the transfer of files to the secondary repositories. So now, my driver pack, the 470 updates, has just been uploaded. So now what we want to do is register the machine in the OS deployment tab of WAPT in order to start its deployment. So what we're going to do first is register it. So I take it out of the box and then I start it up. I start it up on the network. Normally, according to the documentation, you have properly configured your DHCP server so that it points to the TFTP server of the WAPT server. I'm starting up over the network. This is also where you can boot from a USB key or NPE. It's going to load what we call a small IPXE file. It will retrieve it from the closest WAPT server. It will also fetch everything from the secondary repositories. And then I have several options presented to me. So either I can cancel, boot from the local disk, and continue my boot sequence. or I can register my machine with IPXE, or I can register my machine with WinPE. The difference is that booting with IPXE is very fast, but you might encounter some minor keyboard issues. So we've also provided the option to register the machine with WinPE. This allows you to register it with the keyboard layout you selected earlier when you generated your WinPE. Here, I'm going to register my machine with IPXE. It asks me to enter a name for my machine. I'm going to name it Test SF2. And now I can expand my machine. If I click on refresh, my machine appears in the inventory. Now I can assign my Windows conf configuration to this machine. That's my column that appears with the name of my configuration. And I can assign it the T470 driver. And now, since I selected an offline configuration for it, I will be able to prepare the DJIN, which means pre-creating the machine in my domain. I can right-click and click on Prepare the DJIN. I select my test join and click on Save. There we go, and now in my DJIN column it says Exist, which means my DJIN is properly stored on my WAPT server. Now I can right-click and request to start the deployment. We switch the deployment waiting status to True. Now I can go back to my machine, I can restart it on the network or still from the USB key. And I restart it over the network. Here the brain, APT sees that there is a pending installation and tells it to boot into WinPE, then it will start the installation of Windows 10 with the specified ISO, configuration and drivers. So now it's downloading directly from the Sarawak WPT, but it could just as well have downloaded from the secondary repository. Regarding the ports to open, if you are using a USB key, you only need to open port 80. And if you are using network boot, for network boot as well, you also need to open TFTP port 69. So here in the console, my status has changed. The first thing it does is format the machine, then it downloads the ISO directly from the secondary repository or the WPT server. In my console, I have a status indicating that my machine is currently downloading the ISO. My machine has downloaded my ISO, decompressed it, and now it is downloading all the files related to my T470 driver bundle. That way, it will be able to automatically install the drivers during its installation. Once everything is ready, the installation starts with the setup.exe that we have in our ISO file. So once the machine has finished its installation, it will restart to complete its configuration. There you go, the machine is finished. It is directly joined to the domain. And then if I go to the main inventory and refresh it, my machine appears as expected. And then I can deploy packages to it and my machine is ready for use. Thank you all for watching this video. If you like this new feature, you can give it a try. WAPT Enterprise is available for 1 month with the link in the description. See you soon.